I've been on Nikki, right? Because, other sports. But look, you know what? This little heel turn thing got me right back to her. I was just like, you know what? Look at, bring out that fire. She made me laugh so hard when she said comprende like some gringo. She is Latina. So I was like, how the hell
Yeah.
is she just gonna say it that way?
Oh, you didn't know? Welcome back to another episode of the LTS Wrestling Podcast. It's me. It's that N-I-double C, and it's me, Jojo, and Jasper here today. What's going on, fellas?
Let's get it.
What's up, fellas? The dad gang on the panel.
That
Cheers,
gang.
cheers.
Cheers.
And of course, welcome to everybody, all our followers, subscribers. Thank you again for joining us for another episode. It is Survivor Series week. Also, Thanksgiving week. We got lots to talk about. But first thing first, how are you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Absolutely fantastic.
Doing
All
good.
right. Hopefully y'all brought your thirst with you. But at the same time, let me just kind of shoot down the list of things that happened in the week. Obviously, we're approaching WarGames Survivor Series this weekend happening in San Diego. Anybody that's attending, look for me. I'll be out that way rocking my LTS swag. But at the same time, I'm out there to enjoy a great weekend with my family as well. But clearly, like one of the highlights of this week, on other news, NXT, Gold Rush, a bunch of things happened, specifically a title change. Kelani Jordan actually lost the TNA Knockouts title to Lei Ying Lee. So that is quite a news happening on this Tuesday. We also had AEW Full Gear over the weekend. I personally thought it was a great pay-per-view. Obviously highlighting that Hangman Adam Page losing the AEW title to Samoa Joe, with the return of Swerve Strickland, and the turn of Hook joining the Ops. Young Bucks also reuniting with Kenny Omega, the Elite, and Mercedes Moné actually lost her second match in her entire AEW career against Chris Statlander.
Let's go.
I
Sorry.
I thought I had to mention that just to kind of get a reaction out of you, Nick.
Sorry. Spoke out of turn there. Continue.
But it was actually a pretty great watch. I personally thought that it was a great pay-per-view. Also on the flip side, AAA had their own show this past weekend, highlighted with the AAA Mega Champion Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano facing against Dragon Lee versus and El Hijo Vikingo. So turn of events there where Dominic Mysterio and El Grande actually won the match. El Vikingo actually walked out on Dragon Lee, and we saw a little tease for this upcoming match where the Lucha Brothers are actually reuniting in AAA under the WWE banner. And obviously, for those that don't know, we're talking about Rey Fenix and Penta joining together, also known as the Lucha Brothers, to go up against El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio. Otherwise, there was a lot of wrestling that happened over this weekend. A lot of great shows. Specifically, also, I'll talk a little bit about SmackDown and Raw with you guys. But guys, we are clearly on the road to Survivor Series this weekend. In addition to that, one of the matches that we're going to be talking about is the second to the last match of the John Cena farewell retirement tour. And we also got Stephanie Vacker versus Nikki Bella for the women's world title. And of course, the WarGames matchup for both men's and women's. So before we even get into all that, right, we're going to do some predictions. Overall, guys, how do you guys feel going into this PLE, specifically with what we have here for the show? How are you guys feeling?
Feeling good.
Go ahead, Jasper. Go ahead, Jasper. You can go first.
I say I'm feeling good because of how they built it up. and how they put it together for me watching the Raws and catching up on the SmackDowns a little bit, man. It got me feeling good about it. I want to see the clash. But I am for the main ones, right? Like for the War Games ones, right? Like, it already looks bad for the good guys and the good girls. Only because, man, they got monsters on the bad girls and the bad guys' sides, man. The Heelys, dude, they got some
Monstars.
monsters. For real. If you were gonna call it like if it was like Space Jam on the women's and the men's side, that's what is
Mhm,
over there. You know?
mhm.
Like, we do have
We know
Lola
who ends up
Bunny.
winning. We know who ends up winning, right?
Hey, we do. Which which if the story is told, I will follow that storyline right there. In a
Mhm.
sense, I do. Lola Bunny gonna
Right.
dunk on somebody. I'm telling you right now. But I feel good because also the other matches are surrounding the War Games. It's gonna be interesting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Hey man, it's gonna be popping. I think it's gonna be a good one out there in San Diego. Mr. Dominic Mysterio Dirty Dommy is home. Let's go. He's gonna go.
Mhm.
Mr. John Cena he's gonna put on. John Cena look like he's ready to go, but he's all in. He's gonna give every last bit of what he got left
Mhm.
to everybody. I'm saying it's gonna be popping, man. Hype. Really good. Feeling good about this one.
Good. Good. Nick.
Yep, same. Same. I'm feeling really good about it. I feel like this is gonna be a good PLE. You know, I still feel it in my bones. I still want to call it a pay-per-view. I'm coming to calling it a PLE.
You're just showing your
I-
age.
yeah, I am. I am coming around to calling it a PLE. I'm proactively thinking in my head PLE, but I still want to call it a pay-per-view. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it's gonna be good. The build up over the last like 2 weeks have been fantastic. I mean, phenomenal. As Seamus would say, banger after banger after
Mhm.
banger after
Mhm.
banger. I mean, just literally back to back to back. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown. Literally, like just back to back. Stories just building up. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like we had 2 weeks to go, and I wasn't sure they were gonna build any good storylines, and they were just hitting for the last 2 weeks. The stories have been fantastic, especially on the women's side. I mean,
Right.
dude, 2025, I'll be honest, dude, the 2025 has been the women's division's year, bro. I mean, the women's division has not missed this year. Whether it been matches or progressing stories, like I mean, to me, the women's division has not missed it, except for you, Nikki Bella, except for you. We saw that miss. We all saw that miss. You missed.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
we still
did.
Man,
we still hung up on that.
yeah, we are. We
No, we
going to be
didn't
hung
hang
up
up.
on that.
She hung up on that.
She
was
hung
the
up.
one.
She hung
We
up.
didn't hang
She
up
hung
on
Oh,
up
that.
on that.
literally and
She-
figuratively, right? She hung up there,
And
but
Becky Lynch
she's
told
flying
her-
like an eagle.
She did.
But-
Shit. She
Fly,
tried.
eagle, fly, right?
She tried. Eagle tried. She tried.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, the women's division have been, dude, they haven't missed this year, dude. The women's division has been so good this year. So
what
good.
in particular? What in particular are you speaking of that you feel like has been like top notch for women's right now? I'm kind of curious.
Like, okay, so I feel like so it all started. I don't want to say it all started, but that triple threat at WrestleMania, that was just such a good match.
Okay.
I thought it couldn't get better than that, right?
Uh-huh.
And then had that other match with and then had the Io Rhea, what is it, a
No,
fatal
that's
four-way?
Yeah. They had. Yeah.
And then-
I think it was Io, Rhea, and Naomi, right?
Naomi.
Yeah,
all
Naomi.
three of them.
Yeah,
there you
the
go.
triple threat. Yeah. Had that match. I kind of had my doubts on that one because I didn't know if Naomi would be able to hang. I mean, I know Naomi's good, But I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that was her just coming off of the Money in the Bank win,
right?
Or her cashing in the Money in the Bank, I should say.
Because I've never seen her wrestle with them. I didn't know how their dynamics would be. It's not that I didn't think
different
Naomi,
styles, right?
Yeah, different style of wrestling. So I didn't know she could, her style would mix with theirs. But it was so good. It was so good.
That was good.
And then, dude, Charlotte Flair was getting booed into the ground. I mean, absolutely booed into the ground. And somehow they figured out how to turn her around. Amazing how they figured out how to turn her luck around. Like just
facts
on the drop of a dime.
Right?
Yeah, with Alexa. I mean, that was genius. They turned her luck around like on the drop of a dime. That was such a smart move. And I've made it known I was not a fan of Charlotte at that time. And I have been enjoying this ride that they've been taking us on with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And this whole story that they've been telling with Rhea and Charlotte, like, you know, building this women's WarGames team. I've absolutely been enjoying it. I think this is a fantastic story and how they've built the team. The women's division to me has not missed this year. And, you know, even on the other team side, like with how they're bringing in Lash Legend, I think this is a fantastic way to have Lash Legend get some airtime. You know what I mean? Bring her to the forefront and get her some airtime.
Main roster call up.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And you got all these big names with her: Nia Jax, Asuka, Kyrie, and Becky, who's gonna make her look fantastic. You know what I mean? So it's just you got a lot of star power on her to make her look good. And Lash Legend, she's gonna. I mean, you can tell already she's gonna look good during the match. So I mean, I'm just saying. I think the women's division is. They just haven't missed this year. I feel like the men's division is going to be I feel like the men's War Games to me is going to be kind of predictable. I feel like the bad guys are going to win on this one. That's all. I'm kind of putting it out there. I know
we'll go into that more detail.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like yeah. Anyway. I'm just saying.
No, it's all good. And I guess on that note, let's just jump right into it because it seems like you guys are ready to, you know, talk about who you guys picks are for this weekend, right? So I'm not exactly sure what the order of these matches are going to be. But let's kind of start off with the women's world championship match. So we got Stephanie Vacker versus Nikki Bella. We obviously know what transpired into this. You know, it was kind of like anticipated that Nikki was about to do a heel turn. We just didn't know it was going to happen. A couple weeks ago, right? It wasn't that long ago. You know, clearly Nikki Bella has been at the side of Stephanie Vacker, specifically when they've had like their interactions with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. And, you know, we obviously saw the heel turn, Nikki Bella pretty much blindsiding Stephanie Vacker after, I believe, her match with Raquel Rodriguez, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so it went down. Nikki called her shot. She is now obviously challenging for the women's world championship. What do you guys got?
Okay, look. I've been on Nikki, right? Because, you know, other sports. But look, you know what? This little heel turn thing got me right back to her. I was just like, you know what? Bring out that fire. She made me laugh so hard when she said, comprende, like some gringo. She's part Latina, or she is Latina. So I was like, how the hell is she just going to say it that way, right? She got me back. I'm kind of rooting for this one. Maybe she reminded herself that, you know, the Intercontinental Championship is just a little too small. She was kicking air over there. This one, she might land it. But I'm going back here. Why? Because she's too much of a powerhouse. You know what I mean? And then we could keep rolling with you, Nikki. We could keep rolling with you. I mean, I don't want to see you as a champ right now. I want to see you mad and go and be a full-blown heel before you do all this stuff. And I like it. I like this little thing of you. I thought I was going to just troll you the whole time, but I like this one of you, Nikki. She said, boom, with the black heart fearless. What? I was like, oh, girl, let's go. Hey, Vaquera's going to go after you, though, man. I can't wait. Thank God your body is right, because when she kiss of death you or what that movie, yeah, it's gonna be a great scene,
Mhm.
and respectfully. So yeah, you still look great, you still look prime, Nikki, but you're not gonna get this one yet. Not over there, not too soon. It's too soon, and she's a monster. She gonna get you back for all that. Look, she's Valkyrie's gonna get you back for all that, Nikki. But I like it. I like this little role you're taking on.
So you got Steph,
Steph.
Nick.
Yeah. Like I know Nikki said that this is her last run, right? This is her last run.
Is it? Did she?
Yeah.
Where did she say that?
I remember reading an article, and this was not too long ago. I want to say within the last couple of days. She's been saying that this is going to be her last run. I don't remember what the source was, so don't quote me on it. May not even.
Yeah, we probably got to fact check that source too.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't doubt it
unless you know something that we don't know. I don't know. Some of us over here somehow have our sources, so some of us just not privy to that information.
I usually, I mean, the stuff I usually read, I try to usually read the legit shit. Legit. This
I was about to say, what's legit these days?
Loose. Okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. I try to read certain websites that I trust, certain places that I trust. Okay, so here's the thing. Hear me out. And usually when I say this, it gets kind of crazy.
Well, do tell.
Gets kind of
we
crazy.
got the time.
It's not gonna get crazy here. I'm going with Stephanie Vaquer. I don't think Nikki Bella's gonna win. Even if this is like Nikki Bella's like last stretch. I mean, she is getting a little bit older. Sure, she still looks fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I don't think I can't see them giving her the belt. Not right now. I think Stephanie Vaquer is way too hot. I think it's too early for them to make. Yeah, I think it's way too early. I think it's too premature. Too premature for them to end it. Especially with how WWE's been running the belts on the champions, how they've been doing extended runs, which I've been vocal about. I'm not really a fan of that style. I mean, certain times, sure, give some extended runs, but I'd like to see. Hey, and WWE, I know you watching. WWE, I know you watching. So if you ever start doing this again, give us some credit. If you ever go back to this style, give us some damn credit.
Give some credit.
Give us some credit. We don't need monetary credit, but hey, I mean, give us some front row seats. I mean, sit us next to green shirt guy.
Oh, for real, yeah. Just some passes at every PLE.
Just some passes. That's not just some $50,000 seats.
Look at all these cheap plugs over here.
We'll pay our
cheap
flight.
Plug every fucking thing out there just to get some shit going here. Freebies. Oh man.
I just think that maybe they should start doing shorter title runs. Maybe maybe they should start hot potatoing the titles every so often.
If you're saying that, then wouldn't you feel a little bit more towards Nikki?
I don't think so. I think in this specific case, I think it's a little too premature for Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah,
I think for instance, Stephanie Vaquer's case, it's a little too premature. I think it would hinder more than help Stephanie Vaquer's case.
Okay, now I think about it, right? WWE would have so much fun pissing everybody off,
and you're not wrong. You're not.
Like just to kind of just stick it to us, right, as fans, and take that belt off of Steph, right?
I've thought about that.
Now I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's just say this. I think specifically for this match, I wouldn't take Nikki just only because yes, I think it'll be pretty much premature. I feel like Steph still got a hell of a run ahead of her. I can't even say like if she was to ever lose a belt, I don't know if she would even lose it straight up. Therefore, hear me out. I'm not saying it's gonna happen here, but let's just say down the road they continue this feud, and when the time comes, let's just say Nikki Bella ends up winning the title. But
Okay, see, I'm not against that. I'm not against that.
she pulls it off with a little bit of twin magic.
Oh yeah,
right?
I'm not against that. I'm not
yeah.
against that.
Like that's the only way it makes sense for me because I can't as her as a heel right now. I can't even say it feels right unless her sister is back. You know, like so I don't know. It's just kind of like let's just say I'm manifesting this, but at the end of the day, like I feel like Nikki Bella as a heel only feels much more right as a twin, like you know, having her twin there. So you know, I'm just saying it down the road, not for this specific weekend though. Um, I still think Steph is gonna come up as a winner. I actually see this feud still kind of carrying on. Maybe a few more matches down the road. I just think right now this title picture, you know, it's how should I say it just feels a little slim right now because I think
It is.
a lot of the tension, you know, and truth be told, I think when Becky was holding the IC title, it felt like she commanded a lot of that spotlight. So up until she enters that title scene, I feel like they might drag it out a little bit more with Nikki and Steph. I just feel like there's a little bit more that they can do together. Otherwise, um, you know, we still have, you know, people like Liv out, you know, that's, you know, part of the Raw women's roster. You know, Rhea's kind of like in limbo with her feud right now with the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky. So, you know, up until like she is able to like kind of separate herself from that situation, I don't see her being back in the main title picture as well. Um, I'm not exactly sure where Charlotte and Alexa fall now that they don't have the titles, right? Like if they end up, you know, headed, you know, go into the main event scene here. So there's a lot to still kind of like figure out. But you know, in terms of this specific match, I will go Stephanie Vacker, and I just feel like it continues the story, so to speak. You know, once they're all said and done with Survivor Series, I'm going into you know whatever next, you know, the next PLE, so to speak. Um, otherwise we do have another title match for this weekend, and we have the Intercontinental Championship match. Title holder John Cena versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. The anti-home or the hometown anti-hero in San Diego will be probably well received. I honestly don't think this crowd's gonna boo this guy. This guy's been pretty over pretty much everywhere it goes up until he opens his mouth on the mic because he starts talking his shit. But he is going up against John Cena, second, his final PLE. I'm not gonna count Saturday night main event, but you know, as a major PLE, Survivor Series will be his final one. Second to the last match of his career. So we're pretty much winding down here. Who do you guys see coming out of this match as the winner?
I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win. I know we've talked about this already. I know we've talked about this already. Did we talk about?
We were talking about it, but we didn't know it was gonna, you know, like it was gonna happen at Survivor Series. It was kind of like we were anticipating it, right?
Right. So we talked about this, right? And you called out something. Did we mention it last episode? I don't remember if we mentioned it last episode. I'm gonna let you explain it because you're the one that called it out.
That's cool.
I think you're better.
Yeah, anything you want to like say on your part though, like as far as what you expect out of this match, if you're going you're going Dominic, right?
I'm going Dom, and I'm
Okay.
expecting the end of the Judgment Day. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
And I'll let you explain. And what you're probably gonna say is probably gonna tie into why I'm expecting the end of the Judgment.
Okay. Fair. All right. Cuzzo?
Who I want to win is Dominic Mysterio. Like that dude has just been fun to see him do his antics, do the eddies, do a little bit of him. Man, he's using wits, hammers, bells, tap outs, false tap outs. Like, I want him to win, right? And then the thing about John, I really think he's not gonna let him, but he's gonna put on and just top it off and go, because he don't need it. He don't need to keep that belt. So I'm hoping it's Dominic, but somehow I think they're gonna let John run with it and maybe let the title
Really?
get yeah, right. Last man standing tournament,
So
right?
he's gonna pass it. Okay, pass it on to the guy that he faces last.
Right. If
That's what you're
if
calling. Okay.
if he wins, but the guy I want to win is Dirty. So let's go, Dirty. Take the belt and because it's your hometown. How the hell you gonna let this man? Like, I have yet to see them not bless this man like this. Because even when he loses his belt, he's blessed. He lost it against John Cena. John is out. That's a big clout on your resume. Hello. Like, who'd you catch an L to? Oh, yeah? The greatest of all time. Like, come on, bro. Like, don't. Like, so I think they're gonna bless this man in his hometown. So let's get it. Dirty, let's go, Dirty. Too Dirty coming back. Too Dirty coming back. Let's go.
Are you going? So wait, I'm confused. Are you for Dirty?
I am.
You want him to win?
I want
but you
him
think
to win.
John's gonna actually come out?
Yeah, man. I think
Okay.
For some reason,
Okay.
man. But who I want to win? Dirty.
So
I want Dirty to
okay.
do it.
Okay, so we swing with that. You're going Dirty Dom. Okay.
Yes.
Now, kind of what to Nick was alluding to, right? And I think I
Mhm.
chimed in about this a little bit. Yeah, so I feel like I'm with the group here, Dominic Mysterio, only because I feel like being in the environment of San Diego, hometown, Petco Park, I just feel like would be such a moment for him to just turn babyface. Hence Nick calling out the end of Judgment Day. So I feel like there's gonna be some sort of affiliation where you have John Cena there, you have Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom wins, right? And I think he wins clean, or to some extent he decides to maybe even reject the help of Judgment Day.
That's how I think it's going down.
Right. And
That's how
they
I
kind
think it's
of
going down.
look at it like, wait, what the hell's going on? Right. Like we're here to help you out. The reason why you lost it in the first place was because you didn't have us in your corner. Right. And I don't think it might even happen at the ring. I think it might happen where like maybe there's like a backstage, segment, right? And they kind of he tells him, I got this. I'm gonna do this on my own, right? And then they kind of push back and like, oh, so it's like that, right? So you don't need us, all right? That happens, and then we see the match, and then we see Dom win. Then you see them actually like get to the moment where John gets the belt, hands it over to Dirty Dom, acknowledges him, shows him respect, hometown cheers. Then we got Judgment Day come out, kind of like, hey, you know what? What's all this about? Yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know it, babyface turn, right? You got Judgment Day ganging up on Dirty Dom. John Cena comes in to aid and help out.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Dirty Dom, babyface turn. That's what I feel like is going to happen. Oh, yeah, that's true, right? Anticipating that, yeah, that could potentially happen. Actually, I think what. Now that you say that, let's kind of take John Cena out of the picture, right? Let's just say John Cena acknowledges him, shows him respect, leaves the ring, he walks to the back. All of a sudden, you got Judgment Day come out, they do their thing with them. All of a sudden, gang up on him, then boom, booyaka, booyaka, 619 comes out. We got the hometown guys, San Diego. Father-son reunite. What a moment, right? Come on.
Hey, bro.
Who would be down for that shit? Let's go. Come
they're
on.
watching it. They're going to pop it up. They're going to watch it. They watching for real. They're going to pop this.
Let's go, right?
Hey,
why not? Why not?
Why not?
So
why not?
Why not?
He's going babyface, huh? Okay, so I got a question. So we were all talking about it a little bit earlier, like before we started shooting If he is gonna go babyface, I'm willing to see him still do his antics though. Like, I'm willing to still see this man pull
Yeah.
his. Are you willing to
Yeah,
still
just like
see
Eddie
that, or you're
Guerrero.
talking about
Just like
going
Eddie
the straight?
Guerrero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bro,
Why
yeah.
not?
Let's go.
bro,
No,
lie,
he-
cheating, and stealing, the
he-
babyface aspect is
yeah.
gonna be the best.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No,
Love it.
it should still be over. It'll still be
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like how Eddie was, right?
Eddie
Like,
was
yeah.
super over as a
Yeah.
babyface.
Yeah. He still could pull those antics.
Yes.
I'm cool with that.
That's awesome.
That's how I see it going down too. I see it going down as I think Finn Balor is gonna be the catalyst. I think Finn Balor is the one that's gonna say he's gonna say something
Mhm.
that Dominic Mysterio is not gonna like. He's gonna say something along the lines of, "Hey, you know you can't do it yourself. We're gonna be there to help you." And Dom's gonna be like, "No, you know what? I can do it. I can do it." He can be like, "Well, you're always talking to the El Grande Americano guys. Why don't you leave them alone? And we're Judgment Day. You're part of our clubhouse. We'll help you." And he'll be like, "No, I can do this by myself." And then during the match, they'll just show up and then he'll be like, "What are you guys doing here? I told you I got this." He'll win. Dominic will win because of them. And then he won't enjoy it. Man, and maybe Finn.
I feel like if you have that kind of involvement, it almost feels like he shouldn't win because
Or
then
maybe-
he gets distracted. You know what I mean? Like if they're like out in ringside and they're kind of like calling their shot without even him knowing, then it's like, wait, what are you guys doing out here? I told you guys I could do this on my own.
Or maybe, yeah.
It almost feels like it would go the opposite way. That's just my
Oh.
opinion, though.
But he
Yeah,
will still he'll
could,
still turn
yeah.
babyface that way still though. Even if he doesn't win, he'll still turn babyface that way. What if he goes, "Hey, you guys weren't like you guys are saying, what if you guys aren't supposed to come out? I didn't need you guys there. You cost me the belt." You know what I mean? Dude,
Right.
he could still turn.
I don't know if it's just a figment of my imagination.
No. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No, like I'm trying to think. Do you guys recall if this happened similar to remember when Hogan had his match against The Rock at WrestleMania 18? Where you remember when I don't know, am I making this up? Where did Nash and Hall get told by Hogan to hang back?
They did. They did.
Did that happen?
Yeah, no, they did.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, they did.
What happened?
They did.
And
get
then
told
they had
to
that look on their
hang back.
face, like they were just like, wait, like what are you talking about, right? And it was just like that moment where you could tell, like Hogan obviously wanted to go handle business on his own and kind of like prove to himself, right? This is icon versus icon, the icons of each other's generation, right? And they wanted to have that match for themselves, and he clearly wanted to go in there to prove a point, right? So I feel like that's kind of like what I'm kind of like borrowing here or relating to as far as this whole Dominic Mysterio John Cena piece, and how I think it's gonna pan out, because eventually what happened was NWO comes out right after they show sign of respect. NWO comes out, attacks Hogan, then next thing you know it, Hogan and The Rock are actually teaming up against NWO. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. But
Yeah,
with the exception,
it could.
with the exception of talking about how like John Cena would actually walk his way back, and instead Ray comes in to save his son, right?
Could.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just need to. I need to see how. I'm trying to think of how Dominic exits from Judgment Day from this.
I think it's post match.
It has to be post match. It
I
has
feel
to
like
be
post match. It transpires post match.
It has to be post match.
Like they turn on him. They turn on him, and then that's what ensues where with Rey Mysterio comes out to save his son.
You think it's maybe post match? You think it's maybe they show respect after the match? Judgment Day comes out, and then maybe they turn on him.
Yeah, they kind of come out and be like, what's all this about? What's all this? You're fraternizing with the enemy kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's up? We don't roll like that. And then, it turns where it's just like, Dom's like, I don't need this, I'm good on my own kind of thing. And then next thing you know, you got JD and Finn jumping on him.
Okay. Well, let's see.
We'll see.
WWE.
We'll
we
see.
know we know you watching.
We'll
They
know if you watching WWE.
No, they watching. WWE is
Oh
watching.
yeah,
Make no.
yeah. Hey, it's kind of fun, right? Like
Yeah.
trying to
that's
run
so
it back
true.
from WWE 2K somehow, right?
Dude, hey, for real.
All right.
Black Friday,
Well,
finna buy it.
well, this is a crazy thing, right? I think, like going into the next match here. Well, let's talk women's WarGames match, right? This I feel like if we had something to say about WWE watching, I feel like we had a chance of, kind of calling out who the fifth person was going to be for each respective team, right? So we got AJ Lee, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky versus Becky Lynch and the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend. So, guys, who do you guys pick in this match? And an added bonus. Give me your order of eliminations here.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to go first.
Hey, I'm gonna go with the good gals. The good gals are gonna go because you know why? I'm rooting for the ones that it might be too, it's a mountain. The ones that's gonna move the mountain. Their ops is a big mountain. And who's gonna go first? Lash Legend. And she's gonna go through Alexa Bliss, one of the small ones that's gonna get you out somehow, dog. But if so it's gonna go
So you
like
go Legend, Bliss.
Legend, Bliss, and then you're gonna go Nia, Charlotte. So I'm gonna leave the Becky's, the Kabuki Warriors last because I want it's either gonna end up AJ Lee, Becky, or it's gonna end up Team Rio versus Kabuki Warriors, and they're gonna duel it out like that. So, but I'm hoping that the good gals win, you know what I mean, because they're badass too. So but they're gonna move
Okay.
that mountain. They're gonna move that mountain right there. And if it's not gonna be end up with AJ Lee last and all that stuff, it's gonna be the Kabuki Warriors and Rio, Team Rio. I really want it to be
So
what's the name,
who's standing last there?
standing last gonna be Oscar, and if it's not, see, that's what I mean. I want it to be Rhea, but I'm hoping it's gonna be Io and Oscar. Hey, Soul Man, sorry, we gonna get it. It's gonna be Io and Oscar. Hey, standing last, and it's gonna be Io. Io's gonna do it.
Also, but wait. Are you? So if so you going Kabuki Warrior standing last. So basically you got their team winning.
No, what I mean, no, standing last, like in the order, I mean. But who's gonna win is gonna be Io. Io's gonna beat Oscar for the W.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Team Rio,
Yeah.
Rio.
Rio.
So Rhea and Io
Yes, they're
are
gonna.
the last two. Okay, got you.
Yes,
Got you. I
sorry.
hear what you're
Yeah,
saying. Okay,
they're gonna be the one.
cool. No, you're good. You're good. How about you, Nick? What you got?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins first? I guess that kind of makes it easier for you.
I think Team Rio wins. I'm gonna throw this out there. I think I know she was the last to be added on, but I think Team Becky eliminates Charlotte first.
Oh, interesting.
I think they eliminate a powerhouse first. It keeps their team looking strong. Because I think they'll eliminate Charlotte first because that's somebody you wouldn't expect to be eliminated first. Charlotte is a really strong wrestler. You expect her to last long. And I think that would be a real big surprise for her to be eliminated right out the gate. So I think once you get everybody in, I think Charlotte's going to be the first to go.
Dang. Where you go from there?
I think after Charlotte gets eliminated, After Charlotte gets eliminated, I say Kyrie gets eliminated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we went 1 for 1.
I can see it.
No.
You're retracting that?
I'm retracting that. No.
Yeah, I can see it
You
though. I
drinking
can see
Diet
it.
Coke with it. You sound like you've been on something.
Bro,
It's
but
tough.
if Charlotte,
It's
I feel like-
indecisive.
I'm being indecisive.
dude,
I feel like okay. Charlotte's gonna go first,
yeah,
and then it's either gonna be Io or Kyrie.
no,
Okay.
I feel like Io or Kyrie is gonna go. Io or Kyrie is
Oh.
gonna go next. It's
Ooh.
one or the
Yeah.
other.
Kyrie,
Okay.
First is gonna be-
Kyrie.
So you're gonna interchange either one.
Right. So it's either gonna be Charlotte, then it's gonna be Io and Kyrie. So number 2
Okay.
and number 3 is gonna be Io and Kyrie.
Okay.
So those three are gonna go first. And then after those three are gone, who's left? I feel like AJ is gonna get eliminated after that.
Wait. So you got Rhea versus all the King Kongs?
So you
Yeah.
So you still got Lash Legend, Nia, Asuka,
versus Rhea?
and then Rhea and Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh,
then I feel like
wow.
Becky's gonna get eliminated. Asuka's gonna get eliminated, and then it's gonna come down to Rhea and Alexa versus Nia and Lash.
Wow.
Alexa's gonna get eliminated. Nia's gonna get eliminated. It's gonna come down to Rhea and Lash Legend. Rhea's gonna eliminate Lash Legend, and then Rhea's gonna win.
So you're going. So I almost feel like you're going with a strong showing for Lash Legend being the new
I feel
up
like-
and coming main roster.
Yeah, I feel like
debut.
I feel like Lash Legend is gonna have a really strong showing during the WarGames.
I see what you're doing there. Okay.
Because I feel like
I-
AJ's not gonna have a long. I feel like they don't want to keep AJ in the match very long,
Okay.
so they're gonna eliminate her pretty early on into the match. If they even send her out early into the match, like I feel like she's gonna have a pretty short stint in the match, so they're gonna either send her out late or eliminate her very early, whichever one it is.
So it's weird. I feel like none of us are going in against each other today. Yeah, I do see the babyface team winning. Now in terms of order elimination, I think Nia Jax goes first. And this is the reason why I think that happens, right? I think how that happens is it becomes one of those like scenarios where everybody gets to do the finisher on her and they end up taking her out first. Like they go after the big guns, right? So I think Nia has to be the target
Wait,
for that.
sorry. Before you even continue, you
Mm.
know how the men had that match at the end of Raw where they had the that advantage match? Did the women's have that?
It's gonna
No.
happen for this SmackDown episode.
Okay.
Oh,
which was
okay.
which was pre-taped, and if I'm not mistaken, spoiler alert, I believe it was Charlotte and Alexa that won.
Oh,
And I think it was against
interesting.
Nia and Lash Legend. So
Let's
I think
go.
women, they have the women's advantage. If I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. Yeah. So, spoiler alert. I know it's pre-taped from last weekend. So yeah. I think Nia goes out first. And then I think to follow that will be Alexa Bliss. I hate to say that just because I'm a big fan of Alexa. Alexa's always gonna have that piece of my heart where she was the first WWE superstar that my daughter met.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I would clearly be biased if I could have her go all the way, but I think she actually gets eliminated next. But following that, I gotta say Kyrie. I think Kyrie goes out. And then I will say, I want to say Becky goes out. But then following that, I would say AJ Lee. For some reason, I feel like it's one of those situations where Becky still somehow finds a way to get AJ Lee screwed over and gets her eliminated. And then I see Charlotte go out. So now we're stuck with Kabuki Warrior, or actually, I'm sorry, not the Kabuki Warriors. We got Asuka and Lash Legend and Rhea and Io, right? And then I feel like Io goes out. And then Asuka. Actually, I actually want to say Lash Legend goes out. Then you got Rhea and Asuka, and then Asuka loses to Rhea in the very end. So that's my order.
Sorry. Can I make a retraction? What are you retracting? I'm gonna switch two people.
You're very undecided today.
I am. It's hard.
What's going on?
It's hard. This is a tough one because this is, bro. Like I said, I've been enjoying the women's one. Really enjoying the women's. And you know,
where's your retraction?
And this is only because I've been really thinking about it with the whole women's one. Let me switch Alexa and Charlotte's place. Let me switch Alexa and Charlotte. Because the whole build-up, it makes no sense it makes no sense for Charlotte and Rhea to build that whole story between them and to get rid of Charlotte so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe switch Alexa and Charlotte, have Alexa go out really quick, and then keep Charlotte and Rhea towards the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two adversaries standing side by side at the very end, and have Charlotte get eliminated and have Rhea standing at the end.
I think that's mine. I like that one. I like that one.
Nonetheless, we all got pretty much Team Rio.
Let's go.
Coming up on top here, right?
Let's go.
All right. And then we got the men's WarGames match. So we don't know whose team this is. We don't know if it's Team CM Punk or Team Cody Rhodes. Apparently Roman Reigns has no idea whose team it is. But nonetheless, we got those three names also with the Usos versus the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and the Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Otherwise known as the Vision, right? Who do you guys got coming out of this match? And we do know that the Team Vision, along with Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre, have the advantage. Who you guys got?
Who do you want? Who I want to win? The baby faces I want to win, right? The baby faces. But is it pointing to that? Because you already said it. Because like the fact that they're not even together. This is a war, and they're not even on the same strategy right now. Like they don't know whose team it is. Like they don't. But the ops, the heels, they're all on the same page on here.
Oh.
I guess we lost him.
He John Cena'd us.
I guess we gotta continue.
The show must go on.
Yeah, the show must go on.
I'm sure he'll jump back on, and then we'll continue.
We'll get his explanation.
Yeah. How about you chime in? Who do you got?
I got Team Slip and Slide winning, aka.
I'm sure we all know why you said that.
If you don't know, then you didn't watch Raw.
Exactly.
You should watch Raw. And you'll understand one.
You'll have a good understanding. If you know, you know. Team Slip and Slide.
Team Slip and Slide winning. Even first time I seen Brock smile ever.
Oh man. He played it off pretty good, though.
No, he did. He took it in stride. I'll give him that. He took it in stride.
All right.
The funny part is we rarely get to see Brock laugh the way he laughs on screen because he's such a serious persona, like behind the scenes. But that moment right there, clearly it was pretty funny. All right, so we bought you some time, Cuzzo.
Hey, sorry. We're coming in with a hot take right now.
Yeah, I think
the phone's overheating.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I had to put it on. Yeah, I had to put on the cooler. But yeah,
they had to heat check you.
I did. Hey, look. Because
So start from the beginning. Start from the beginning.
I'm saying, man, the baby faces aren't together. They don't even know. They're too worried about whose team it is instead of being team. Those guys over there, the heels, they're on the same page from the top all the way to the bottom. Paul Heyman got them, even to Logan Paul. They're all gonna. So my hot take is, I think the heels are gonna win. They got the advantage. There's no way that he's gonna tsunami everything. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be a crazy tsunami, and then it's because you got, I don't know. There's too many monsters over there, Drew. God, man, you got. I'm surprised ain't no Jacob Fatu somewhere in this roster of theirs, man. Because God,
how nice would have that been, right? If he was,
yeah,
not saying he would be aligned with them.
No, he'd be over there with the baby faces because he likes Big Jim over there. Yeah, he likes
that would have been pretty dope.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I did.
They need him. They might need him over there at the they need Jacob over there. Can they just have a surprise 6-man over there? Because it's just not fair. The monsters on that side, man. I'm telling you, the heels got some monsters. It's just
balance it out, right?
Yeah, and it's different. The women, I'm like, oh, you're gonna move the baby faces are gonna move that mountain. For me on this side, I don't know. That's a mountain. I mean, the fact that they added Drew, how diabolical is this Heyman guy, man? Dude, you already got the bronze. Cool. When you added Logan Paul, I was like, all right, cool. He's talented, but they play him out as the low IQ kind of guy, but he's talented type dude. But so I was like, okay. And then you went to go get Drew, and then the Beast and God, yo.
Guys, you know what? Quick pause. Why did I, for some reason, I just caught myself. The fact that we're talking about eliminations, it doesn't apply in this match. I just thought about it. I'm thinking traditional Survivor Series match. Oh my gosh! I just pulled a Brock Lesnar. I pulled a Brock Lesnar, and I switched up on that one.
WarGames doesn't. There's no elimination.
No, there's no elimination. It's basically everybody shows up. Obviously they come in alternate. They alternate
that's
entries, right?
It's just
then
whoever.
Once everybody enters, that's when the match officially starts, where anybody can get pinned. I totally
forgot.
I'm thinking traditional Survivor Series match.
Well,
what a dumbass.
Well, it is.
That even tips the scales to their favor.
What it is.
Right.
That even tips
we
the
just
scales
rambled
to
a bunch. We rambled about a bunch of shit earlier that didn't. Not gonna matter. Sorry.
Nah, it's all good.
Well, WWE, if you get an idea for another different PLE, we know you're watching.
Another gimmick match it is, right? Just
we know you watching.
We just want to PLE.
Good Lord.
We just gave you an idea.
Right. But nonetheless, you got obviously the Monstars going, the Vision Monstars.
I want to pick the baby faces though. Let me just get that, but I'm going with the heels. Heyman.
One of the babyfaces got to take an L.
Yeah.
One of the babyfaces has to take an L in respect to the WarGames match. How about you, Nick?
I think, like I was saying earlier, I think Team Slip and Slide is going to win.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Team Slip and Slide is going to win. I don't think the babyfaces are going to win. I think this loss is going to be used as a way to further the storylines with the baby faces, as far as the dissension amongst the baby faces, because they've been having too good of a time. Everything's been going too well for the baby faces. I think it's time for some dissension amongst the baby faces, and the cracks are starting to show. Especially with how this past Monday Night Raw went, with how Roman is now putting his stake down as far as saying that title will look better on me. And it's pretty obvious who he was looking at. Sure he glanced at Cody, but he was obviously looking at CM Punk. It's obvious. No, I can tell.
Go.
I
He's
can
looking
tell.
at both of them.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
No.
He's used to
You look
having
at-
two. Let's remember that, right? He's
Well,
used to
you're
having two.
right. No, right. But then if you look at the way he's looking, he looks to the right. He says, and if we're being honest, that title would look, and he glances to the left, good, and he glances back at the right on me. So mainly he's looking at CM Punk. Sure, he glances for a second at Cody, but he's mostly looking at CM Punk. He just glanced over at Cody for a second, just so that he can say that he doesn't, I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you guys to figure it out. But we all know he was looking at CM Punk. And we've already seen Cody versus Roman, right?
But see that he did just have that triple threat match with him and Seth at WrestleMania.
Sure.
Not 1-on-1, but I see what I got what you're saying.
Sure. But like I said, this is their way of being able to push storylines forward. You know what I mean? Like this is also a good way to keep Roman on Raw. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to use this as a way to push the storylines forward for the baby faces. Use it as the way to push the descent for the baby faces. You know what I mean? Team slip and slide.
Team slip and slide. Good Lord, man. Yeah, I think seems like we're all in it to win it. You know, we ain't going against each other.
We're all gonna
pick the same. If it all lines up that way, then great. You know, we all take the victory lap, right? All undefeated. Yeah, I don't see Rhodes, Punk, Reigns, and the Usos coming up, only because to everyone's point, there's just a little bit more happening in that team than the others. The other team with the Vision, Brock, Drew, they all seem to be on the same page. And if anything, with this past Raw, yeah, it already seems like Reigns has his eyes on the titles, which is not the main priority here this weekend. It's about working together to go up against these group of 5 monsters. But then we also got to have in the background Jey Uso, right? There's kind of been a little bit that, thing that's going on between him and his brother in the background. Which is kind of interesting because I did see something, I don't know how much truth there is to it, but this would be kind of interesting. And I kind of thought about this, right? Now that Jasper actually kind of read my mind a little, I did see something about Jimmy Uso getting replaced, like kind of like a pinch hit. So ends up being like a surprise entrant. And I actually wouldn't mind it being Jacob Fatu for that matter.
Yo,
Like, if Jacob
please.
Fatu can show up, I know he's been out of action, but man, let's talk about this, right?
Yeah.
If Jacob Fatu shows up, yeah, I still don't think they win. But imagine seeing him across the ring against the likes of Braun Breaker, let alone Brock Lesnar, out of all people.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, like,
yeah.
What?
Hey, didn't he get attacked backstage?
What the hell?
He did, right? He got attacked backstage. So that could tie
and
that
supposedly
in.
it was.
Who was it?
So that's the interesting part, right? We don't know yet. I don't think they've actually revealed that. But that was also tied into the whole storyline with Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, right?
Let's go.
Which Drew McIntyre, like, denied completely whether or not it was him or not, which it kind of does feel like he didn't. Maybe it was Cody Rhodes. I don't know, right? So there's kind of like an interesting, thing about putting Jacob Fatu in this match in that sense. And, let it be let it be told that if he crossed paths with just the guys that I just mentioned, how fun would that be to see? Just something new, right? Just like, we know Brock Lesnar for being how he is, but he's never faced somebody like a Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
So how interesting would that be? And we have also talked about this in the past, right? Future main eventers, Jacob Fatu, Braun Breaker, and they've teased this in the past, right? They've crossed paths a bit in the past, and we obviously see something happening. Like it's almost like they're on a collision course to be like they're clearly the future of the WWE. But they clearly will be on a collision course at some point where these two actually will face each other, and we might actually see a teaser here if that happens. Now, if it doesn't happen, I'm still okay with it. Let's just say, for example, this is the actual group of guys that are going into it. Fine. I think it makes it even easier for me to know, like, there are clearly those storylines that you just mentioned, Nick. And on top of that, you got this whole faction with the division, Logan Paul, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. Where that goes, I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure somebody. It almost feels like, do we get a Logan Paul CM Punk match eventually because of how that started this whole war game situation? I feel like that should happen, right? I think that's probably in the cards, so to speak. Um,
I also
do we
feel
at
like I also feel like somewhere, sometime soon,
Mhm.
Brock Lesnar is gonna give Braun Breaker a rub.
Probably.
Like he's gonna go over for him. What I mean, that's just
Wow.
imagine the kind of like clout that's gonna give him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big,
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, and people even talked about them actually having a match at WrestleMania this year, which it'd be kind of interesting because it's just like right now they're on the same team. So I don't know how that will transpire over the next few months, but anything can happen. But at the same time, I even see, I can see them running it back with Cody and Brock this time for the title. And I think, with Cody kind of like talking smack the past few weeks, about him beating Brock twice was it this past year or last year? Some like, I guess,
It
like, since
was
him
last
returning.
year.
Right. Yeah. So I think, with that being said, I think there's a possibility they run it back. Um, I think overall though, guys, like, this is probably the one most stacked War Games match I think they ever put together since actually bringing it back to WWE, or bringing it to WWE for that matter, because it's the who's who, right? You got the world champions of each brand here, and then on top of that, main eventers, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul. These are some pretty big names, and not to say that the Usos and the Brawns aren't up there. They're, to a capacity of being surrounded by these names, they just get elevated. And you know these are it's going to be in two rings, double the size of a normal steel cage. I don't know if this is even going to contain all these guys. I honestly see something happening to this cage, like falling apart to a certain extent with the names that we're talking about here,
I
right?
wouldn't be surprised.
So it'll be something. It'll be something. And we'll change gears here. We'll change gears here for a bit, right? Um, some of the names I actually just mentioned, specifically Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. These guys being the world champions of each brand right now, but we also realize that we also have NXT's world champion currently, Ricky Starks. We also have Jade Cargill, who's the WWE Women's Champion. We also got Ethan Page, who's the North American champion, and also Mariah May, who's also the women's North American champion. So, do you guys kind of see the trend here, or the commonality amongst the names I mentioned? What's the main thing about these people that I talked about?
The future, man. That's the future.
Future. Well, something else though. I'm kind of leaning towards. Where did they just all come from?
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
all outside AEW.
So
Yeah.
right, and talking
Yeah.
about all these people, right?
Yeah.
And specifically Ricky Starks, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Jade Cargill, they all took a picture together, right? And linking back to AEW, obviously them coming from the other company owned and ran by Tony Khan. He actually kind of spoke about this picture that was posted recently on the Ariel Helwani show and much other things, right? So we're gonna kind of want to talk about that interview and just a little bit of backstory here because a lot of people who may not know, Ariel Helwani had Tony Khan on his show, on his podcast a few years back, and it didn't go too well, only because majority of the questions that Ariel had asked Tony was not answered. He kind of deflected and pretty much gave the response or kind of a general response like I'm not allowed to, or I can't speak on that right now. He did it for a lot of the questions, which it kind of left Ariel Helwani to feel like, what's the point of this interview if I can't ask questions? If I'm asking questions, you can't even answer. So between that interview and the most recent interview, they kind of had a little, you know, war of words on social media, and seems like they made amends, right? So bringing it to date, they had a pretty good interview. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. I think the interview came off really well, specifically because Tony Khan was actually very receptive and very candid with a lot of the responses. And I think, for the most part, he was being a promoter. He was pretty much promoting Full Gear, which was obviously this past weekend. And, he talked about obviously his guys. But the cool part was also he didn't seem to shy away from some of the other hard hitting questions that Ariel Helwani tends to ask his guests. So he did bring up the whole CM Punk thing, talked about the footage, the backstage footage of him and, CM Punk and Jungle Boy getting into that scuffle, whether or not that was the right thing. He talked about some of the current names that are not on TV, specifically Chris Jericho, Britt Baker, MJF, and such. They talked about WWE to a certain extent, right? Honoring their shows for that matter, a lot of their pay-per-views with the PLEs, talking about WrestlePalooza and how that impacted them to, change up their, the timing of their pay-per-view. I want to say it was All In. That was at All In Texas, I believe. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, I think what I want to say, is this, my perception of Tony Khan, typically when he does a lot of his his media press interviews, he tends to do the things that you expect as a promoter. Promote your brand, promote your wrestlers, which is cool. But when he's asked a lot of these hard questions, specifically the ones that, may not necessarily reflect any type of positivity on his part, specifically when the name CM Punk comes up, we all know where that's going to go. He was actually able to answer these questions, or he was willing to answer these questions, I should say, which is kind of good. In my opinion, I think he handled them well. At the same time, he wasn't shy about talking about WWE, and how they've kind of like been counter programming a lot of their shows. Um, so I know you guys didn't really get a chance to kind of like watch or hear about it. Maybe heard maybe some snippets, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Tony Khan as the obviously the promoter, but also the owner, being able to kind of be receptive to a lot of these questions now, as opposed to how he was prior to all this? Because prior to all this, we know that he's gone on television. He's gone on, I think, Sports Center talking, or NFL Network talking bad about WWE, right? So what do you guys think now about the way Tony Khan kind of like carries himself publicly, especially when it comes to talking about some of his competition?
Wait, he badmouths them? Because look, this is my first time seeing
Yeah.
him full interview, right? This Tony Khan dude. And I couldn't help but to watch and go, hey man, this guy is answering these questions like he's not a hater, bro. Like, I was like, look, he's like, it's expected because it's the
Mhm.
game. They're supposed to be competitive towards
Uh-huh.
me. I kind of am one of the top
Exactly.
brands for you to be competitive against. And he was
Uh-huh.
like you said, fam, he was just bigging up his wrestlers. Like he was like, yeah. So I was like, hey man, so that's pretty. So I got a question. Did Ariel's approach from when is different this time though? From the first, or was it the same?
No,
Yeah, because I didn't see the
it
first
was
time.
pretty much
Yeah,
the same.
Ariel was great. And this, so that's why it's like, oh man, to hear that Kahn wasn't answering questions, because this one, he had me in from the gate. So from the parts that I've seen. And so, oh man, oh wow. And then he be on Sports Center and stuff, bad mouthing. It's a 180. Cause this guy is right now more in the light with it, I guess, instead of in the dark. Like instead of in a dark place with it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't sound like he was hating. Like it was, but he kept.
Mhm.
I like how he answered the questions though. So that was good. That was good. I like this one. Tony. He said he got the best roster. That's another one.
Very subjective, right?
Subjective.
Of course, he's gonna believe that, though,
He
right?
did. He said it.
Which is fair. It's fair. What about
Okay,
you, Nick?
so personally, I didn't get around to seeing the interview. So I did ask you guys to catch me up on the interview. So I'm just gonna go off of what you guys have told me. And I'm just gonna go off of from what I've seen of Tony Khan. As everybody knows, I'm not really an AEW watcher. I catch AEW from time to time. I'll watch like matches here and there. Not really a big AEW fan. Not really my cup of tea. Every time I see Tony, and I can't be the only person that thinks this, but every time I see Tony Khan, doesn't he look like Rick Moranis? I can't be the only person that thinks that, right? Yeah.
There is I see what you're saying.
Right? Doesn't he look like Rick
Yeah.
Moranis?
Yeah.
Anyway.
He doesn't really come off as a dad, though. Like,
Yeah, no,
every
but
time I see Rick Moranis, I it's just hard for me to not get the image of him, being the dad on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
right.
But yeah, I guess with the glasses,
sure.
that's the only thing I can relate to.
Yeah, hey,
But,
Honey, I Shrunk the
Yeah,
Kid.
doesn't he kind of look like Rick Moranis?
I'm still trying to see it. I'm trying to see what you're saying, but
For some reason he reminds me of Rick Moranis. Anyway, kind of going off topic. Anyway. I'm trying to look at it from like our perspective because we're podcasters. And I've watched Ariel Helwani before, and I like him. I think he's a great podcaster.
yeah, he's a great interviewer. And,
Yeah.
He's great at what he does,
Yeah,
journalism
he's
and all that good stuff.
Excellent. I love his show.
Mm-hmm.
From like how we've done it interview before, right? We've done an interview before. And how we've approached it is we've actively done communications with the person that we were interviewing before, right? We've sent out questions and we've asked, okay, so these are the questions that we're potentially gonna ask you. Is there anything that you would like us to ask you about, or is there anything that you don't like on this and that you would like, that you don't want us to ask about, yada yada. We communicated with this person.
Like debrief them, right?
Right. We kind of briefed them about it, and we didn't. It's not that we weren't going to hit them with hard questions or anything, but we kind of wanted to. It's not that we didn't. We're not trying to. I don't want to sound like we're trying to kiss their ass, and I don't want to swear. I don't
want
want
to be respectful about the situation.
We're trying to be respectful about the situation, and I get it. In the case of Ariel Helwani, he has a little more leeway to play hardball, right?
Yeah, he's a journalist.
Sure. He's a journalist. He has a little more leeway to play hardball. And I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I can kind of understand where at that point, Tony Khan, I can get why he was trying to he would want to try and dodge the bullet, dodge a lot of bullets at that time, right? The company was kind of in disarray. Because at that time, CM Punk was kind of there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on in AEW at the time.
Oh, I
I
see
get
what
why
you
he was
mean.
kind of dodging a lot of bullets.
I see what you
Right.
mean. Like it
So
wasn't. It
right.
wasn't
So
in.
I can there was a lot going on. I can understand why Tony Khan was dodging a lot of bullets.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you know, you set yourself up for that kind of interview. You should have expected that kind of questions to be coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword kind of thing. So I'm not saying either person was right in that kind of situation. Um, maybe there should have been better communications on both ends. Tony Khan maybe should have communicated, "Hey, listen, I'll do the interview, but maybe you know certain kinds of questions, maybe try and stay away from it. I'm willing to answer certain kinds of questions, but maybe if you're going to come hard at me on certain kind of questions, I'm not willing to answer that kind of questions." You know what I mean? There should have been certain kinds of communications prior to the interview, and maybe it wouldn't have made Tony Khan look so bad.
Mm.
And for him to come back, and I think on Tony Khan's end, great that he came back the second time, and it makes him look good for sure. Did he need to do it? No, he didn't.
Mhm.
He didn't have to. He didn't have to.
Exactly.
Tony Khan owed Ariel Helwani nothing. He didn't owe him the interview. And honestly, like anybody who thinks that Tony Khan owed Ariel Helwani anything is wrong. Tony Khan didn't owe him anything. But that's awesome. To me, I think that's awesome that Tony Khan did it. And I think it's good overall for everybody that we got to see it. And I look forward to watching it. Because I enjoy watching wrestling podcasts. You know, as a podcaster myself, I love doing podcasts. I love listening to our own podcast, you know, even after we're done. And I just love listening to everybody else's perspective on wrestling. So I mean, it's just
Oh, yeah.
I love listening to it. So the more content I can listen to, it's good overall.
Hey, I would agree with
And,
that.
you
It
know,
was in the light.
I
It was
think
it was a good one. So maybe
it
Khan was
was.
in a better place to answer questions. To your point, Iron Man, like he might be in a better place to answer questions about his company because maybe it was in such a disarray that if you were to ask him about something, he like, damn, man, damn it, like I ain't even trying to put no light on that. It sucks, like, yeah. But right now he might be really good because it was.
Well, yeah, and
I thought it was a great interview. I would have never thought he was like that, you know, in the first one.
yeah, and
Had they not made
granted,
amends,
the
like,
one right, the one question he did like kind of shut down, like I can't speak on it, was the whole Andrade situation. And I that part I understand. I clearly there's a lot happening behind the scenes, legal stuff, which contractually whatever it is couldn't be talked about. Totally understandable. And I think for the most part, because he was able to answer a lot of the other questions, he was it felt like an actual interview, and I felt like Ariel felt like it was as worth was like you know allowed to keep asking more questions in that sense, because he felt like, okay, so he is answering these questions. So and I know, like, he kind of like during the actual interview, he kept referring back to his I guess Tony Khan's publicist, like you know saying like how he kept pushing, and he probably was taking too much more of his time, but it seemed like Tony Khan was pretty cool about it, and very receptive. Said, no, everything's okay. Like, yeah, like
yeah,
I enjoy doing this interview, and like being on your show. Kept like, showing a lot of gratitude. It's just cool, and it's fine. And I think for the most part, I think this was a win-win situation, for both, and in hindsight, it's nice to see, people like hash things out and be able to kind of make amends. It's just good for the industry again, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm the biggest AEW fan. But I thought what Tony Khan did specifically for his company, being on this interview, showed a different side of him in terms of like in the perception of how he is typically in front of the media. And I think how he handled himself, you know, all kudos to
Maturing
him.
as a businessman, right?
Right.
mhm,
And I think when it comes down to it, like I think that there's still a little bit part of that where, some people have talked about him being, such a really good guy, which I don't. I'm not gonna knock on that. It's good to know that people are like that out there, especially in his type of role. But yeah, at the same time, they do talk about how that tends to be where he's just trying to be everybody's friend, and sometimes you can't always be you can't be everybody's friend when you're trying to also be the boss, right? Especially because you own and run this company, you can't always appease to everybody. But I'm that part of me, I'll be honest, that's still where I still have my reservations with him, and clearly I feel like because he seems to have this relationship with certain wrestlers that tends to kind of like float around my head, but at the end of the day, I think how he conducted himself on this interview. I think him showing a lot of gratitude towards Ariel Helwani and being able to have the opportunity to kind of like answer the questions. Clearly Ariel put out there, and I think him actually speaking to his part and also not having a bad mouth anybody, which was just another reason why I think a lot of people think so highly of him, right? He, as opposed to like some of those things that he's said in the past, about the WWE, it's just kind of like stay focused on your brand, stay focused on your company, promote them as you should. You're a promoter, and just talk about the good things that are going on in your company as opposed to what's happening on the other side. The other side is going to be on the other side no matter what. They're going to be competition. We get their mo. We understand how TKO operates. It's no different how they operated pre TKO days, especially when WCW was kind of the main competitor back in the day, and how the WWE had to pretty much counter that and pretty much do what they needed to do to survive, against WCW. I think, when we kind of generalize this whole piece, it's nice to see that, other brands are getting that exposure, specifically here with Tony Khan promoting AEW. It's a pretty young company, and like they're doing seems to be doing better, and as opposed to how things were years before, and I personally want to see them around because it's just good for the industry. It keeps things healthy for a lot of the wrestlers to have employment elsewhere outside of the WWE. Even if I personally still think WWE is still the upper echelon and still the company. They've been around longer, and there's no argument to that, right? So, point blank, I'm just grateful that we have all this wrestling, which kind of takes me into this next piece, and like to kind of like wrap things up amongst our episode here. We are amongst the Thanksgiving holiday, and shout out Chris Van Vliet. I kind of took this idea from you, listen to some of your episodes, and every time he conducts an interview with a guest, he does close it out with him asking them, what are they grateful for, typically 5 things, but I'm not gonna go 5 things here with you guys, just for the sake of the holiday. Kind of just going around the horn before we close up here. What are like 3 things you guys are grateful for as a wrestling fan? 3 things. You don't even have to go in particular order. You can just be in any order.
Hey, I'll go, man. I'm thankful for the wrestler for the LTS Wrestling Podcast, the panel, fam. You guys keep this thing lit. And so that transitioned me into saying I am thankful for Soul Ruka because she the one that bring me back. I'm glad. I know you're not 100% girl, but you all right. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm thankful for Shawn Michaels. Cause I'm telling you, he keep the plot thick. You guys are ready. Is it Megan Walker? Y'all not gonna be ready for Megan Walker. I'm trying to tell you guys. I know I might be watching your last name right now, but we all gonna get to know you. You coming. That's how I know. Look, Tatum, there was a reason why she was sacrificed, bro. I'm telling you, Izzy Dame is gonna load this up because of Shawn Michaels. So there we go. LTS Wrestling Podcast #1, Cuzzo, the panel, Iron Man, Soul Man. Let's get it. And Soul Ruka and Shawn Michaels. All right, keep the plot thicker. Get the plot thicker. I'll tell you right now, guys. Shawn Michaels is loading this thing up. You're about to see him pop. You talk about the future, guys. We talk about the future. He is contributing to this future. He has. He go out there and scout and pick them out, bro. He giving, hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you guys, trust me, Shawn Michaels, bro. Hey, keep doing what you do for a long time. I'm telling you right now. I tell you.
He's that Nick Saban of pro wrestling, right? He's the master recruiter right there.
Master recruiter right there, man. Hey, you're gonna see it.
That's too good. That's too good.
Hey, look, for real, cheers, boy.
That's fantastic, Jasper.
Hey, I cheers to that.
Heck yeah. Thankful for y'all, for real, man.
How are you? How are you, Nick?
Yeah, well, first off, I have to agree with Jasper. I am thankful that wrestling has brought us together as a team. That we brought us together for our podcast. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is something that I never thought that I'd ever do. This is great. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that was born out of a passion for wrestling, lifelong passion as a wrestling fan. And this is just something that I never thought I'd ever do. And this is just so much fun. I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's one of those things where you've always been looked at kind of weird for being a wrestling fan until you get around people who actually love wrestling. And it's just like, you know, we can really openly talk about wrestling and, you know, around people who really love it. And it's just, you know, it's so awesome. It's awesome to talk wrestling with people who love wrestling, who really understand what wrestling is about. I'm thankful for that kind of stuff. I'm also thankful that Triple H hasn't totally effed up WWE yet. Yet. You know.
Is it entirely him though?
He is head of creative. You're going down that road,
True.
Triple H. Come on, brother. You're starting to get bad, but every time you get bad,
are you really thankful for that though?
Yeah, because you know
it sounds so negative.
I know.
It's a double negative, which turns into a positive. It's a double negative, which turns into a positive.
So you're making the math do the math here, I guess.
Yes,
I like that.
I'm mathing. It's Steiner math. It's Steiner math.
Steiner mathing it. Okay.
The double negative turning into a positive.
Makes a positive. I like
because
that.
all those negatives turning into those last four shows that they had, which were bangers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey,
bangers.
when they pull it together, I mean, the show, man, when they really, really, really pull it together, the shows are absolutely phenomenal. I mean,
it's trending in the right direction.
Yes, it is trending in the right direction. When they really get it together, I mean, they really remind me why I love being a wrestling fan. You know what I mean? Like why I cannot stop watching wrestling. It's just why I can't stop looking away. I love being a wrestling fan. The whole glitz, glamour, the storytelling, just the whole package of being a wrestling fan. I love being a wrestling fan. I'll never stop being a wrestling fan. Somebody, I don't remember who said this, but somebody, I remember watching a podcast, and this was not too long ago, somebody saying that, like, I think this was James Romero or something like that. Something about like, once you become a wrestling fan, you never stop becoming a wrestling fan away from wrestling, but you always secretly hope that it gets better so that you can come back to watching wrestling.
Find your way
back.
Know?
Right. You always try to find your way back to become a wrestling fan.
Yeah. That's hard. That's dope.
And last but not least, and it's true. You never really stop being a wrestling fan. You never really stop. And my last thing I'm really thankful for is that I am thankful for all of the wrestling social media presence, because it gives me a lot of content to digest while I'm driving to work or while I'm just hanging around. It gives me a lot of content to listen to.
Nice.
Just I love to listen to people's podcasts. I love to listen to, like, Chris Van Vliet is, of course, I love to listen to him. His interviews with the WWE stars are fantastic. I love to listen to Stevie Richards. If you guys haven't watched him, he is fantastic. I love his show.
Keeping
Maven.
it 100.
Yeah, dude. Maven is fantastic too.
Maven.
He's great. Yo, bro, shout out to Maven. Maven's show is really good. Dutch Mantel once in a while has some pretty good takes. I mean, overall, dude, a lot of the OGs have some really good shows out there. Conan, you might have to rework your show, bro. Nash, sometimes you're an old man yelling at the clouds, but there's a lot of good stuff out there, and it's a lot of good content for me to digest. So I'm thankful for that.
Awesome. Good stuff. I guess on my end, I'll go in a little bit of reverse here. Not to say it's, fuck it. I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna go in reverse. First and foremost, I'm grateful for the fact that I'm able to be able to go to a lot of these events, whether it's a WWE, TNA, AEW, I'm grateful that a lot of these companies have actually been in my backyard or, within the vicinity as of late for me to attend a lot of these shows, and I can't say enough of how much money I probably spent on going to these shows. It's definitely put a dent in my pocket, but it's been well worth it. I think the experiences speak for itself. Granted, Cuzzo on Jay, shout out Jay. I know you're not here today, but we were able to go to Money in the Bank and the AAA, PLE out here in LA. That was good times, having to watch it. Hopefully, Nick, you'll be able to join us sometime soon. So, like I think that's one of the things I want to be thankful for, just because, as a kid growing up, I've never got an opportunity to do a lot of that stuff. So, um, now at this point in my I guess in my life where, I'm luckily able to afford it, I can say, like going to these events have definitely been great experiences nonetheless, right? Um I obviously want to thank all of those out there, you guys watching, and I'm gonna be very, very grateful to that aspect, because without you guys, we wouldn't exist. Let's just be honest, like we can be on this, talking our shit, and you guys have so many options out there to go watch. So for those that actually subscribe, watch to us, follow us, very thankful for you guys. You guys are awesome. And of course, the panel. I can't say anything else, much more. And it goes without saying. Let's just say that, right? You guys have made this so much fun. And, definitely one of the things I've been wanting to do for a minute. And, we made it happen. This came to fruition at the beginning of the year. And I thank you guys so much, for being part of this. And, we all got our lives to worry about, and you guys still make the time to help out so much with the content, being here, doing these episodes, making the time to just come together, for a good hour or so, just to chit chat, talk the shit, have some good times. And that's what it's all about. So at the end of the day, I'm just thankful for you guys, and everyone out there. And in the light of this holiday, we hope everyone out there has a fun and safe and enjoyable feast, so to speak. Happy Thanksgiving out there to all those that celebrate. And looking forward to this weekend, guys. Survivor Series, PLE, anyone that's gonna be out there, shout out. Don't be shy to say hi. I'll be out there enjoying this weekend as well with the rest of y'all. Otherwise, thank you again for joining us. Great episode. We love you guys. Continue to follow, subscribe on all our social media platforms. Cheers
Cheers.
with the beers and the
And a
Diet Coke.
soda.
So,
And we out.
sponsors.